Hello everyone, Neil Tappin here from Golf Monthly, and welcome to this video in which we are looking at the 5 biggest coaching myths that golfers get told. These are things that we all get told as we pick up the game that can actually do you more harm than good. In this video we're working with Alex Elliott. He's a PGA professional and he's going to be able to tell you the truth behind those myths. He's going to be able to offer you some advice that could make a big difference to your game. Guys, if you're new to the Golf Monthly channel, please do hit the subscribe button to make sure that you don't miss any of our videos. Hit the like button if you like what you're watching, and also comment below, are there any coaching myths that we've missed out on? If so, leave them comments below. We'll get Alex on to answer some of those questions that you have. Okay, so let's head over onto the range here at Wester Hill. Meet Alex, find out what the 5 biggest coaching myths really are. Okay, so number 5 on our list relates to something called the D plane. And Alex, this can be quite complicated, it can be quite hard to get your head around, but it can be important for people because some people might look at their divot pattern on the range and think they're doing a certain thing when actually that's not the case. Can you explain exactly what I'm on about there?
It's a common thing, I think. Anytime we get on a grass range and people see their divots going left, they almost hit that panic button. I've got that classic over the top move, and no one likes to hear that. I think the important thing to think about this is that in some cases, okay, that divot left may be a scenario in which you could be swinging a little bit too far left with an out-to-in path. But you've got to understand that what your divot's happening on the ground and where you swing into the golf ball is not just 2D, it's 3D. It's your angle of attack as well.
Yes, so your angle of attack and the direction of your swing,
exactly.
they work together, don't they?
Exactly. I think if we kind of put it into a scenario which a lot of people have seen on TV, the Tiger Stinger. Everyone loves to see Tiger do that shot. Now, commonly when we see Tiger do that shot, he is swinging quite a lot left, because he's hitting down the ball an excessive amount.
And you might think, oh, he's hit a massive slice there, but actually the ball flight's very, very neutral, isn't it?
Exactly.
Because of what we're talking about
It's almost bullet straight.
Yes.
So the easiest way to explain this, the more you swing down on the golf ball, so the more your angle of attack gets steeper into the ground, the more you've actually got to swing left to counteract it. Because the ball's being hit earlier in the arc, the club path is actually more likely to be to the right. And that kind of sounds like a counteracting and kind of controversial thing to say, but if we look at Tiger hitting that stinger, he's got to swing a proportion left to counteract the fact how much he's sitting down on it.
Yeah, well that begs the question now, I think you'll agree, Alex, you're going to have to try and hit that shot for us.
No pressure.
To show us what you mean.
So, if I'm hitting down on it X amount, I've got to counteract that if I want to hit that straight ball flight by swinging to the left.
Yes. So
I'd open up the stance a little bit.
Very interesting. Now, unfortunately, we don't have an actual divot, but the mark that you've left on the ground is very straight. The ball flight was actually a little soft draw, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I don't know whether you can see on camera, but it would have.
It would have
I take it would have looked a bit.
Yeah, and it would have almost looked, if you looked at it from a camera angle, that probably he's coming over the top. But if I didn't swing X amount this way, I would have produced more of a hook ball flight.
Yeah, so there you have it. If your divots are aiming to the left, you really have to understand what your angle of attack is before you start making any changes in your golf game. Go and speak to your local PGA professional, find out exactly what you're doing through impact, because otherwise you might end up making a change to your golf swing that doesn't actually need to be made. Keep your head down. It's probably the piece of advice that amateurs give to other amateurs more than anything else. You hit a bad shot, someone said to you, keep your head down, you lifted your head. Alex, that's actually a bad piece of advice, isn't it?
Definitely. And
why?
Ultimately, body rotation through impact. I think a lot of people, when they top that ball, they feel like the head was lifted too early. Now, anytime we see the head lifted too early, actually is a good thing. Because if we've got our head working up towards target earlier, look how much more my chest moves through the target.
Fine.
If I show you now and I keep my head down, which is a lot of people get told, chest is not fully through to target, a lot more face rotation with the club face, so it's harder to control the face through impact. So the biggest thing about keeping your head down is, 1, the club face is probably going to be manipulated more, and 2, you're not going to get as much body turn through impact.
Okay, but there is a nub of truth behind it, and that truth relates to posture. Is that fair?
There, yeah. Yeah.
So what is it that people sometimes do in the swing that can make it look as if they're lifting their head when actually that's not the issue?
True. Ultimately, if I said to you they were coming out of posture in this way, so early extension, that would maybe look like they're lifting their head in this direction. So one, their posture's becoming a little bit more upright. And I like to think of the analogy of a helicopter. If we think of a helicopter and the propellers always stay on the same plane, if I lift up now,
yes,
that's going to change that and almost look like I'm lifting my head. Whereas if we look at all the top players, John Ram, Dustin Johnson, even Annika Sorensen, and this is something that I was told when I first started playing golf, I was told to feel like I Annika'd it. So I stayed in posture, but my head was up early and my chest was through to the target. Because one, the arms and body are going to be working more in sync together. Arms and body more in sync, clubs more in sync, the body's more in sync, and potentially chance to hit a better shot.
I think we've got some footage of Henrik Stenson hitting some golf balls where he's one of those players that if you get a freeze frame of him at impact, his head is actually not looking down, but is actually about that angle there, isn't it?
Definitely. And I always tell people, and it's something that I really like, if we were a foot after the golf ball and our chest, club head and our head were trying to be all in one line, that's going to get us up and out of the shot and through the golf ball, as opposed to being low and this way.
Yes.
Would be more.
Okay, so our next one relates to putting and the speed at which you hit your putt. So as an amateur, if you hit a putt short, someone in the group is likely to say never up, never in.
Yeah.
And likewise, if you hit a putt that's quite aggressive and goes quite a few feet past, someone will say to you, oh, that was a good putt, you've been really aggressive with that.
Yeah.
But actually, that's maybe not the way to be thinking about it. Actually, that can cause you some thoughts that are damaging, right?
Definitely. I like to think of it as if you hit a golf ball 3 foot past, that effective hole size is now only 1 golf ball wide.
Right, okay.
So you're reducing your opportunity of holding a putt. So you've got to be quite precise on your line to actually have a chance of the ball going in.
Okay.
If you hit it then 4 foot past, that then effective hole size reduces even smaller. So you're trying to get a ball into a hole and your opportunity is less than a ball wide.
Yes, and I think you can agree that most of us can do with as much help as we can get. So that begs the question then, Alex, how far past should people be trying to get the ball to get the right pace?
The best thing I think of is if we think of Tiger Woods when he hold that chip off the green at Augusta.
Right, okay.
Where it goes round and it drops on the edge and it stays there and the low goes up for a while, then it drops in.
Right, so you would be advocating people to top all the putts into the hole?
That'd be the analogy I would think of.
Fine.
Because if we look at this now and I roll these in, if we get the effective hole size to be 3 golf balls wide, that's when these balls are just all going to just topple in.
Topple in. So giving yourself the biggest margin for error.
Exactly. Now, some people may say, well, you've got to give it enough speed to keep the ball on line. And sometimes on some greens, that probably is an argument to that.
If the greens aren't perfect, you want to be a little bit, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. I always like to think of 2 to 3 inches past would be kind of my gauge of a good speed to hold a putt.
So how do you train it? How do you practice it?
Best thing I would do, a horseshoe around a hole that is 3 to 4 inches past. So I get a horseshoe around here of tees. I would then hit putts from 3 foot, 4 foot and working back. And every time I keep it inside the horseshoe or hold a putt, I can move back another foot.
Fine. And that's training you to get the putt running at the hole at the right pace every time.
And I think the biggest thing is, if you get more tuned into pace, you don't have to be as specific on your line. So you're going to have more chance of holding a putt. You've got 3 chances instead of hitting it a 3 foot past and only having 1 chance.
So there you have it. If you are working on your putting, get the pace right, give yourself the maximum opportunity to hole out. You might just hole a few more putts. Good shot, Alex. Now, if you were to hit, if we were playing together and you were to hit a bad drive, you're swinging the club pretty fast. Yep. I might turn to you and say, Alex, I think you're swinging it a bit too fast. Again, it's another piece of advice that amateurs give to amateurs a lot of the time. Why is that, again, why is that a bit of a myth?
Bit of a myth of it is because if you look at anybody at the elite level of the game, so your John Ram, your Dustin Johnson, your Rory McIlroys, the guys who hit it a long way on tour, they're swinging upwards of 111, 112 miles an hour with driver. So that's as quick as they can. And every time we look at the game and the way the modern game's going, hit it far and hit it as far as you can and hit it straight. And the reason why I would say it's a bad piece of mistake is that because most amateurs will swing fast but be out of balance.
Yes, right.
And the arms and body are working as kind of two conflicting motions.
Okay.
Whereas we look at the guys who are on the top of the tour, yes, granted, they train in the gym, they perform every day, they swing as fast as they can, arms and body in sync, and most important thing is they're balanced to a finish.
Yeah, and actually slowing down isn't any guarantee that you're going to get your arms working with your body anyway. So that begs the question, Alex. And I'm putting you on the spot here because we haven't actually talked about this, but what's a good drill for people to work on to be able to get that synchronicity that you're talking about to help them get the club back on the ball in a balanced way?
Okay, best thing I would do is one golf ball as slow as you can. So imagine you were doing it at like slow motion.
Go on then, hit one for us. How slow is slow? I can imagine for you it's probably not that slow.
No, I literally mean make the ball go 10 yards.
Okay.
So slow as I can, this one. So almost like you're going to put it in slow-mo. So that's number 1 on your scale.
Okay.
So if I get another ball, make this number 10. So
right,
imagine
okay.
this was your
as fast
10
as
out
you
of 10, fast as you can, something you probably never do.
Swing it out of your boots.
Out your boots.
Right, go on then.
Okay, so that's 1 and 10, that's the two extremes.
Yeah.
And now I want you to hit a shot that you just hit a shot, and I'm going to tell you what number I felt it was on that scale.
Yeah, okay,
because that'll
fine.
give me a good feeling of, okay, 7 might be it, 6 might be it, and it'll give you a sense of, okay, a sense of rhythm to stick to, but also a sense of a good speed to stick to, which you can still be balanced.
Okay, fine.
Right, okay. For me there, I'm going to say 7 straight away.
Yeah.
So I'm quite brisk.
Yeah, it's definitely much closer to 10 than it was to 1.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think it goes to show that if you hit a bad shot and you think I need to slow down, just be careful because slowing down can actually do just as much harm as swinging way too fast. You need to find the right speed for you, and if you can do that more consistently, you will hit better shots more often. Okay, so the next one relates to putting, and in particular, the idea that in order to be a good putter, you need to really have a straight back and through stroke. Yeah. Alex, why is that not the case?
I mean, this is a kind of a classic thing you see on the putting green, and I think a lot of people think keep the putter back, straight through, keep the face pointing towards target. You've got
the maximum chance of holding it. That's what I would think. It makes sense,
exactly.
Doesn't it?
And in essence, I actually a big believer in that actually loses control, especially over long putts. We talked about this before and said on a short putt, yes, you may be straight back, straight through on short putts on fast greens.
Yes.
You get to kind of your most common kind of 10-foot putt that you might have, there's going to be some element of arc to it. And if you look at one of the top putting coaches on tour, Phil Kenyon, he has these putting mats that he puts down, and depending on player, it's a very individual part of the game. There's different degrees of arcs.
Arcs, right. So if you are hitting a series of 20-foot putts, trying to keep the putter straight back and through, what does that do? Why is that not a good thing to be doing?
I feel when the arms and body start working a little bit independent and we start guiding the putter, rather than it being a natural motion where the putter works around the body and we release the putter head down the target line, it becomes a very premeditated move.
Fine, so for a putt like this, you might just about be straight back and through. But if you were then hitting it 10 feet further on, you'd like to see the putter kind of slightly arcing back towards the inside line and then back again through to the inside line on the way through.
Just purely because it's a natural thing to do. And I think if you think of the putting as a natural part of the game and be tuned in more to what the ball's doing and less what the putter's doing, you've got more chance of holding that putt.
Okay, so there you go. Don't fight the sort of natural urge to have a slight arc in your stroke. It's something that every golfer's going to have because ultimately your arms are attached to your body and your hands are attached to the putter. There is going to be an arc, especially if you're facing a longer putt. Keep that in mind. You should hold a few more putts. So there you have it. Those were our 5 biggest coaching myths. Guys, please do leave some comments below. What do you think? Do you have any thoughts on any of the instruction that we've given there? Do you have any myths of your own that you'd like to get some answers about to help you improve the way in which you think about and work on your own game? We'd be really interested to hear your thoughts. Also, if you've liked the video, please do hit the like button as well. But for now, from West Hill Golf Club, it's goodbye.